Welcome back to another episode of the New York Peer Patrol podcast. My name is Israel, as always, joined by my co-host Wayne.
Yeah.
Wayne, how was your day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
I feel that too, especially when it comes to the topic we're gonna talk about tonight.
Wonderful.
Kind of always what I want to say to situations like we're gonna talk about is whatever.
Yeah.
And you know, the fact that we just got back from Man Night doesn't help either, because that's literally what Man Night was about. So,
Man Night was fucking chaotic tonight.
Yeah, we have an episode to get into tonight. So we hope you enjoy it. And here's a quick word from our first sponsor of the evening. Are you sick of Bumble and Tinder, where if you as a man don't message first, you won't get the girl? Or are you just sick of girls, period? Well, worry no more. Join Bro Hookups. No, it's not what you're thinking. Bro Hookups is an app where you can match with other bros in your area. In Bro Hookups, you haven't need to worry about women's bipolar attitudes or constantly changing their mind. In Bro Hookup, you can match with other bros in your area based on mutual interests such as video games, bars, music, etc. It is a great way to meet new bros and possibly start new lifelong friendships without all that stress and hassle that comes with women. Sign up for free today at brohookup.com. So Wayne, as I'm sure you remember the last episode, we hit on dating apps
Briefly.
for not as long as we should have. And I would like to get into dating apps and relationships a little more tonight, as I'm sure the men in that watch our listen to our podcast will be able to relate to quite a bit, because it is 2022 and it feels like every woman I know has some sort of multiple personality disorder.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
let me just interject real quick. The men that are listening to this, we found out that most of y'all are listening to watching videos about we got proposed and then clicking off.
Yeah, that was weird. I'm gonna try and find that again. Because that was weird.
We checked our analytics and found out that people like to watch dating content apparently, and then click off of those videos onto our videos.
Also, I see that only 41 of our views out of our whole 92 views come from the U.S.
Where the hell?
But it doesn't say where else our views are coming from. It only says 41 out of the 92 are coming from the U.S. So
that is,
I don't know,
strange.
And it doesn't give the other wherever else these views are coming from.
So
weird.
Almost half of our views are probably coming from like some sweaty Arabic man on his couch.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, I agree, yeah.
It's like some Russian drinking vodka.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree. Yes, I agree. Women are shit. Yes. I forgot how I got there. I'll find it. But yeah. But it to continue off our last episode of the dating apps, it's like, and as our first sponsor said, if you're a man and you don't message first, 9 times out of 10 you're screwed. And it's also if you don't message first, but if you do message first and you don't say like the most clever possible thing on planet Earth,
you literally have to try so hard, and women will be like, well, you don't have to try that hard, it'll just, be funny. And it's like, I'm sorry, but I'm talking to like 15 different women hoping that one of them finds whatever I have to say interesting. So, it's not easy to come up with 15 different things to say, and it's boring if I just copy and paste the same thing.
Right, and 9 times, the majority of my Tinder messages I'll start out with, "Hey, how are you?" Or I'll be feeling bold and drop like a super corny pickup line or something. And
Women
then,
like that. For
you know, maybe I'll,
reason.
sometimes I'll message back and be like, haha, that was funny, or hey, I'm good, how about you? And then, or like, they'll be like, hey, I'm good, how was your day? And then I'll share the same thing they did. Like, oh, my day was good, work was kind of long, blah, blah, blah. And then nothing after that. And it's like, okay, I'm sorry I shared how I am with you. Like, whatever for that.
Okay, I've got a chain of texts that was. He remembers. You remember this because I showed them to you, but ridiculous. Let me find it real quick.
I want to find these recommended videos. Because I was looking at these videos, they're like where. So I was looking at the data that shows the part of who watched our videos that were recommended from other videos. And what I saw that what videos our podcast was recommended from was so weird. I was totally, like, I was flabbergasted, honestly.
What? This is like the third time you've used that.
I use perplexed and flabbergasted. Those are my favorite words.
Well, I gotta sound smart, so I'm gonna use my 2 words.
Those aren't even. Those are like dumb people smart words.
That's true. The way you said that made you sound like a dumb person.
Well, hence why I use the words.
I found the messages. So, ladies and or men, tell me if this is like a terrible first message. I said, if you could go back in time, what period would you go to? This bitch goes, I wouldn't want to go to the past. It's too painful. I said, okay. I feel like the 80s or 90s would be neat, except all the crack. I thought that was funny. She replies, yeah. Like, why am I being crop dusted on Tinder?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, when you showed me that, I was like, bro, like...
It wasn't even like... I don't know.
But I did find the videos on the analytics. So, we have the traffic sources suggested videos. So, a bunch of our views on episode 2 and 3 came from our first episode. The views from episode 3 came the views from episode 4, episode 1 and 3 came from episode 2. And then we have views coming from a video titled "He Proposed and Filmed It." We have views from videos that were suggested from Huge Pandora Haul Winter Sale Part 2. We have views from a video, What's on Our Daily Pandora Bracelets, with daughter at Terra Pandora Moments. In quotes, my Pandora Moments. And then we have views from a video called Buying Pandora on eBay, suggesting it. So a lot of people who like Pandora jewelry watch our videos, or podcasts, apparently.
That's interesting.
And then he proposed and filmed it, which... We're doing the opposite of
How's
proposing.
it even getting? How is the YouTube algorithm recommending our videos?
I don't know.
Jewelers.
We're literally talking about the opposite of proposing right now.
Yeah, we're literally talking.
Instead of proposing to women, we're complaining about women.
Yes.
I don't know how that works. I don't know why YouTube was like, this would be a good one on here.
It doesn't make sense, so let's do it.
This would be a good suggestion. Yeah, I thought that was funny. I don't get that.
Can we answer the eon long question tonight of women when they ask when you ask them where they want to eat for dinner and they can't fucking answer the question and they're like, you pick.
Yeah, and then you're just like, but okay, so then they ask that, and then you're like, okay, let's go eat at this place, and they're like, I don't want that.
I don't like that.
And you're just like, well, you told me to pick. I asked you what you wanted, and you told me to pick.
And then you repeat that process about 6 times, and then they settle on going to Denny's. And you're like, this is not where I want
Or they just stop answering back.
Yeah.
And you're like, well...
And then they get mad at you for not picking one, but then they get mad at you for what you pick. So it's like...
What are you supposed to do?
Right.
Like I don't understand it.
I'm not saying men don't do the same thing, but to me it seems like amplified with women.
I know 90% of men, we just like food.
I don't give a shit.
We don't care where we eat. We just want to eat food.
Yeah.
So we could care less where we eat. As long as we're getting food in our stomach, we're fine.
Bro,
it could be horrible food too.
Bro, you could bring me Wendy's on Valentine's Day and I would do whatever you wanted.
Exactly. I will take you to France. I will do whatever. You bring me something like Wendy's or a McChicken on Valentine's Day, we're getting married. But girls, it's like on Valentine's Day, if you're not getting served directly by Gordon Ramsay, and he's not, and you know the Salt Bay guy who does the salt thing with his arm, if it's not Gordon Ramsay cooking your food and it's not Salt Bay pouring in 2.5 ounces of salt on your food, then she's gonna block you. That's literally how it is.
Your
bro.
girlfriend blocks you.
Yeah, that's, you know, and I don't exaggerate when I say that. That's literally how it is.
No, like 95% of women are either this complicated or they're a dude.
That's why you should join My Bro Hookups at mybrohookups.com. Because it's a lot easier to, you know, get along with a bro at the bar and be like, yo, let's go, I don't know, shoot some guns tomorrow. Boom. You got a new bro.
Yo, guys are weird. Like, if I don't know you and I just walk up in the bar and I punch you in the side of the head, we're probably going to have problems for like 10 minutes and then we're going to be bros forever.
That's exactly. Or you could just be like looking at each other from across the bar and be like, I don't like the look this dude's giving me. And then you go up to him and be like, yo, you got a problem? And he's like, nah, bro, do you have a problem? And you're like, no, I don't got a problem. Let's get a drink. Boom. Friendship.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
those are the ones that last the longest, too.
Yeah, bro. Like, it's so much... I'm not saying I'm gay. But it's so much easier getting a new bro than it is... Because if I go... If I'm at a bar and I see a cute girl and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go offer to buy her a drink. Or I'm going to go introduce myself.
She's like, get away from me. You're being oppressive.
That, or the majority of times I've done that, the girl's like, yeah, you know, my name's this, blah, blah, blah. Or you're like, oh, yeah, let's do a shot or something. You know, you hang out, you feel like you're hitting it off.
Yeah.
And then
they don't want anything to do with you.
And then another dude comes up.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, you're done.
Bro, literally,
like, well, okay, glad
like,
I just bought you 3 shots of...
Okay, literally what we said it was last episode. You could be, all right, hear me out. You could be like any you know, we're going to get a little brutal here. Out of a 10, right? You could be a 7 out of 10. You show some titties. All you have to do is meet like 1 out of 3 of these requirements. You have any amount of cleavage. You wear any amount of tight leggings or pants. And you even slightly flirt with a guy.
You're set.
You're set. You got whatever the fuck you want. You can drink all night for free.
Right. I mean, you don't have to.
You don't have to do all 3. You just have
That's
to have
what
one.
I'm saying. That you don't even have to flirt with like the bartender or a guy at the bar for you to buy a drink. It's one or the other. You either look really good, and this guy's like, "Yo, let me buy her a drink," or you either, you know, you're wearing normal clothes, but you're super flirty and nice, and this guy's like, okay, let me buy her a drink. And then they're on to the next guy who wants to buy him a drink.
And here's the thing, ladies, we're not knocking you. We're like saying, how the fuck do you do it? It's mind-boggling. It's to me, it's like you're not like for dudes, like we have to try, you know, day in day out, go to the bar, do whatever, go on dates, meet these people.
Tinder 10 hours a day,
and we have seas of competition behind us. So it's like I have to put out my A game to even secure a fucking date, or
right.
to secure a day at the bar, or to secure whatever it is.
Right.
I have to try absurdly hard for that. Ladies, all you have to do is literally put yourselves out there for 10 minutes and you're going to have 10 dudes knocking on your door.
Right. another thing is, I know it's cliche, and, you know, a lot of dudes say it. Even the dudes who are what I'm about to explain, I hate. But it's the girls who will go on social media or talk to their friends or be talking to a guy at the bar complaining, oh, you know, every time I meet a guy, he's a douchebag, he's a scumbag, he's only mean to me, and yet I just keep going back, and, you know, I just want to meet a nice guy who spoils me and treat me nice. And I'm like, that's me. Okay, yeah, keep going.
I fit all of the criteria.
I fit everything you're looking for, and yet, as much as girls say they don't want to go back to these guys,
but they will in a heartbeat.
They go back to the dudes who go to college for growing pot. Like, that's not even something you need to go to college for.
It doesn't even have to be growing pot. It could be fucking gender studies or basket weaving.
Or not even having a job.
Yeah.
Period. Living with their mom.
You could just straight up live. You could be, I mean, literally, you could be a trash individual. Like a trash male, right? And you treat these girls like absolute dog shit. And you live in a fucking basement. You smell like weed all the time. You don't do anything. You barely shower. You wear the same clothes for 3 days straight. And these dudes and these girls go to these dudes and like, oh, Lila, you know, he's such a nice guy.
Yeah.
And you know, he means well. And he'll stop verbally abusing me eventually. Like, ladies, you like I said earlier, all it takes is 10 minutes in a bar, and you got any other dude. Why settle for that guy?
Right. And you know, like, you know, if there, you know, women who watch, please explain. I'm not saying all women go for those guys, but like, explain your mindset behind that, because I don't understand, like, why that is even a thing. Or, you know, if those are the guys you like, then don't complain about them. You know, if you want to date the pot smoker dude who lives with his mom and, you know, occasionally will do a job, like, you know, make $100 once a week, well, then go for it. But explain why that is your way of thinking.
Well, here's the problem that I see with that. Women have a harder time differentiating between, is this a guy I want to fuck or is this a guy I want to date? Because the trash individual that they are fucking, that guy in their mom's basement, that guy that's just this like complete scumbag, most of the time I feel like, you know, maybe anecdotally, it's women that catch these feelings and assume that this guy is like in it to, you know, be with them forever.
Right.
And literally, guys will say whatever the fuck they want to get some pussy. Right. They'll say whatever they can to secure the bag. So if he's got to say I love you, or he's got to say I'll be there for your grandkids, then he's going to say it if he thinks he's going to get in your pants.
Right. And like, yeah, no, you're right. And yeah, I'm just at a loss for, you know, the way of thinking, you know.
Plus the other thing the other problem I foresee is that people go into relationships with the complete wrong expectations. People don't talk to each other anymore. They don't communicate with what they want. They either meet on Tinder, they meet on Bumble, they go on a couple dates, whatever it is. You don't know this person. You don't know what your expectations are. People are too introverted nowadays, or people don't want to just have a conversation to be like, hey, this is what I'm into, this is what you're into, this is what I want, this is what you want, and to, like, you know, compromise and to come up with an agreement. People don't do this shit anymore. People just, you know, we live in such a world where it's all about meaningless sex. Like, that is 90% of relationships now. It's not about compatibility. It's not about long-term relationships. It's not about, do I see myself with this person? And with every single person that dates or that you know, mingles with people, you have two brains, right? You have two sides of your brains. You have, this is my fun zone, this is my fun brain, and then this is my dating brain, this is my long-term longevity brain. People just turn that shit off. They're just like, all right, no, I'm 100% fun brain. But then they want to like convert these people. That's the thing that I don't understand. These like women in particular, they want to convert these trash men into like potential husbands, and that's why all these marriages fail.
Yeah. And I think like a lot of times, like say a nice genuine dude comes up to you as a female at the bar and it was like, hey, ow, my name is this, you know, nice to meet you, blah blah blah, and you start hitting it off, and then you know you're not trying to be. I think the thing with it is with girls is that like if you're not being, there's two girls. If you're being totally upfront with like, granted, you shouldn't be like I want to date you at the bar. No, right.
That's the wrong place for that.
Right. And I think there's two different types of girls. I think there's a girls who like, if you're like saying that, if you're talking to a girl and you're, you know, and I think your intention should be brought up, you know, sort of early, so you're not on the wrong page through like the talking and dating stage.
I agree.
But I think one thing with girls is that if they feel in any type of way, you bring up your intentions in terms of like, you know, are you dating to just have some fun, or are you dating, you know, to marry in the future, or blah blah blah, then they get scared off, and like, you know, the second you say, you know, I want a relationship, you know, if a guy's like, I date to marry, you know, in the future, hopefully, then it scares them off as if the guy's like already in love with them. But then I think there's girls who are like, if you're just having a conversation with a girl at the bar, you know, nothing crazy, you're just, you know, getting to know each other. You're like, you know, I do this for work, blah blah blah. You know, I have this kind of personality, I love doing these things. And then a guy comes up to you, you know, like, okay, so a thing that has happened to me before is, you know, I was at the bar, I saw this cute girl, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go talk to this girl. So I was doing exactly what I was just explaining. I was like, you know, my name's this is what I like doing, you know, blah blah blah. I'm not saying anything crazy,
just being a genuine person,
right? Just you know, putting what I like to do out there.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I want to date you, I am madly in love with you, let's get married, but I was just letting her know who I am.
You're being flirtatious, and you're talking to them.
Yeah, right. Not too much though.
In a normal way.
Right.
Not anything.
Talking like a human being should.
Correct.
And then so you know we were having that same conversation back and forth, and she's like, "Hey, my friend's over there. I'm gonna go hang out. I'll come back, or you can come with us in a few minutes, blah blah." Blah. And I was like, I'll you know, the pool table is only 10 feet away, and I was like, my buddy's here, I'll just chill here, you know, come back whenever you feel like, you know, or I might just come over there. And then she sits at the bar with this dude, and then they have the conversation we had for maybe 2 minutes, and he goes, yo, I kind of like really like you, like a lot, I was next to them, and she was treating it as if I was not there. He was like, I kind of really like you, and like I kind of hope we're together someday. Mind you, I had watched them meet for the first time.
What the hell?
He was like, yeah, I'm just so into you, and blah blah blah. And she's like, oh my god, you're so sweet, like blah blah blah. And then that was a loss. And I was like, dude, how I don't understand.
Some girls want you to go to the bar and get drunk and simp for them. Mm-hmm. Like they literally want you to simp. And I'm not doing that. And no normal person should have to do that. And I don't think that's a majority of women. I think that's a very few select, you know, amount of women. But and here's the thing: if you're a dude, you got to play the game. There is a game to be played. It is not like we are sitting here discussing one of the most complicated algorithms of all of mankind, and that is the woman. Is literally uncrackable.
Yep.
Supercomputers running for 1,000 years could not crack this algorithm because literally I think God just made women as a middle finger to men. Literally, it's like, let's take the man who is simplistic in nature, says what he wants, isn't extremely complicated, and then let's take this thing that he's supposed to be compatible with that isn't very simple and is very complex. And don't get me wrong, I don't hate women at all. Like, I don't think either one of us do. But the thing is that women are so absurdly confusing that it causes us to be just frustrated all the time because listen, as a woman listening to this podcast, I'm sure you're laughing your asses off at us right now because you know you understand woman code. We don't understand it. So we're sitting here trying to pick it apart with our like primate fucking monkey brains, trying to sit here and be like, "What is this? This is gold. How does it work?
What is this new machine?
What is cell phone?" Ooh, ooh, ooh. So that is literally us right now. So any help in this situation is greatly appreciated. But any thoughts?
What's the word? There's a word I'm trying to think of that. It's like they can't make their minds up.
Indecisive.
Yes. Okay, give me a second on that, please.
But yeah, dude, another thing about women is like how absurdly picky they can be over certain things. Like, okay, for instance, let's say I roll up to the bar, right? And I'm not like, don't get me wrong, like, I'll dress up for a date or I'll dress up for like, something important. If I'm going to the bar, I'm showing up there in jeans and my boots and, flannel. Like, I don't give a shit, right? And most women don't either. They show up to the bar in jeans and a jacket. They're not putting on loads of makeup at the bar. They're not doing all this stuff. They're maybe a couple of them are, but generally speaking, the same people that won't put very much effort into themselves when they go to the bar, and then you don't put very much effort in, you show up and they immediately judge you and go, well, why is he wearing a flannel in the bar? Or they immediately judge you and go, oh, well, I'm going to ignore him.
Or like, why he's wearing a blue shirt, or he's wearing a dark blue shirt with light blue jeans.
Literally.
What is wrong with him?
You're correct. Oh my god, he doesn't have the right color palette coming into the bar, so I'm totally not going to talk to him.
He doesn't wear the James Charles Morphy palette. Or a lot of times women will say, I don't know. That is a big thing.
They're some of the most indecisive people I've ever met have been women at bars. Literally so indecisive. And it's not like I'm sitting there going, hey, yo, you want to come home with me? Like, 2 minutes after talking to them. It's like, hey.
Which is who they usually go for.
Literally. And I'm going there and I'm like, I chat with this chick. I have a couple drinks with this chick. We're sitting there. And I go, hey, do you want to go sit at one of those tables? And it's like,
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. I know I'm sitting here and
what would my friends think? I don't know.
I can't do that because then, I came with them and it's like, I didn't ask your hand in marriage. I asked to go sit at a table and talk to you in private.
Girls are also very, go based off what their friends are doing. Like, so you could be talking to this girl at the bar who might actually be a very nice, decent girl. But she's hanging out with friends who are, dating dudes that, we had described before, who are, the scumbags, the dudes who smell like pot all the time.
Let's call them,
degenerates.
Let's call them bottom tier dick.
Right. Her friends could be, at the bar with the bottom tier dicks, and they had convinced her to go out that night, even though she's single. And so, in her mind, it's, say you're a decent dude trying to talk to her. In her mind, it's, well, my friends' boyfriends aren't like that. So what are my friends gonna think of me talking to this guy?
They put themselves in a situation, and this goes along with the point that I was talking about earlier. Women, you have two sides of your brain: your fun brain, your date brain, right? Women cannot look at a situation and go, I want to fuck this dude. They can't look at it and just have it be that. It can't just be like, I want to have sex with this dude. It's literally like, they look at the situation and they go, how does this fit into my life currently? How do I make this compatible with everything else in my life? And that's why, like I said earlier, that's why we have these issues, because people don't talk about their expectations anymore. They're not upfront. Because, and again, I'm not trying to just bash on women because it has to do with men too, but it's literally like this standoffish thing, and it comes with misinformation too. Like, you know, it's the perception of guys, or the perception of what's going to happen if I go home with this guy. You know, like, they're worried about that, but then they go for bottom tier dick dude in the corner who, you know, got a fucking surfer haircut, and he's drinking, like, you know, Labatt Blue, and he's like, he's sitting there. No, not even Labatt Blue. He's wearing, like, birth control glasses with the rim. Like, oh my god, he's so hipster and cute. And then they're like, oh my god, he's got a surfer haircut and like a little bit of muscles. He's so hot. And like literally they go home with him, and he doesn't even have to do anything. He just sits there and he's like, oh, what's up, ladies? And they're like, can I ride your cock? And he's like, yeah, sure. Like, that's literally how it goes.
Yeah, and then they complain the next day.
And then they bitch that, oh, there's no nice guys.
Right.
There's
after the dude
shit.
After the dude who had more than likely made his intentions clear, leaves them the next day. So I'm reading this article on Reddit.
On Edit.
On Edit. And it's this dude. And he's like, need help understanding indecisiveness in females. And he goes, I have dated girls that have been quite indecisive. My ex-girlfriend would reply to any serious debate with, I don't know. These serious questions I feel would go nowhere. Long story short, things didn't work out. He goes into talking about his new girlfriend who is a little bit better at it. And he talks a little bit, and he goes, however, the real issue is whenever we talk about something serious, I will bring up my issues or how I feel, and she will just stare at me. I know she has answers, but for some reason it's really hard for her to express them. And he says, I try to be patient and not aggressive. I state my topic of discussions, and then I just sit patiently for her to reply with something that could lead to a constructive conversation, but to no avail. I have tried to wait it out, but after 15 to 20 minutes, I just can't take it. I eventually drop the issue and figure out something to say to get us through it. He asks, girls who suffer from this state of locking up during serious situations, I have so many questions. Why? What can I do? What makes it easier? Does it get better? What are the best ways to approach certain situations? Let me see if there's any women responses to this, because I need to know women responses to this.
We need some insightfulness from women.
Let's see. This one says there are lots of reasons why some women do this, but here's some of the reasons I occasionally do it in ways to make it easier. She says, my husband used to get into a pattern of asking me what I wanted to watch, eat, etc. And then when I answered saying he didn't feel like that and offering no alternative solution because he wanted me to pick. When this has happened more than a few times in a row, I just started saying, I don't know, or whatever you want. Because ultimately, I don't want to just keep throwing out suggestions until I hit upon the one thing he wanted to begin with. I find that lots of people do this without really noticing.
Women do the same shit,
and
though.
Then blame their this paragraph has horrible grammar. And then blame their for indecisiveness. So try to be conscious of that. You may not be doing this, but I noticed it on more than a few occasions. So she's saying she would throw her husband would ask her, where do you want to eat? And then she would say it, and then he would say no. And then she would just keep throwing out things that he said no to the point where she just started saying, I don't know.
Well, maybe there's a better solution to, you know, the where do you want to go, I don't know situation or thing that transpires. What, you know, and here's like when I've dated people in the past, you know, I've had ideas like suggestion boxes where you have like a date randomizer, and quite honestly that allows you to,
like, you can't really say no to that.
Right.
It's just luck of the draw.
Correct. And that helps tremendously when there's indecisiveness. I didn't realize that we became a dating relationship advice podcast.
Apparently.
Well, this is what all of our click-throughs get anyway, so this episode is just going to blow up, because literally we're just talking about women and relationships and shit.
We're going to have women that are like, you know what, I've never thought of it from the men's perspective like that, or women are going to be like, oh my god, you're just sexist, you hate women, oh my god. So, it's going to be 50-50, but you know what, people are still listening, so...
That was an email for Viagra boner pills, which I don't need.
oh, what great timing.
They're listening to us.
For real. They probably literally are. Let's see what else is on Redditor through this topic. No. How can I, in parentheses, 27-year-old female, nicely kick out my boyfriend, 28-year-old male? I live in a nice subsidized apartment, and I'm the only person on the lease. If my building finds out that my boyfriend moved in, I will lose my subsidy for fraud. I cannot lose my housing. I'm risking a lot for him to be here. He's my boyfriend for 2 years. He's fully aware that we're committing fraud, but he doesn't care. He thinks we won't get caught, but we could. He used to live with his parents. He always wanted to live with me because he wants to get away from his religious parents, and I live in a nice apartment downtown. I allowed him to move in, but I have my regrets. I want to read more. Okay. My home is no longer my haven. It used to be so clean, but now it's filthy. I cannot handle his laziness and messiness. After living with him for a few months, I have realized we don't have the same values. I want to live healthy and improve my lifestyle, while he's okay playing games and smoking weed all day. He is currently unemployed due to the pandemic, although I'm supporting him with my university money. The amount of money I get for living expenses is not much anyway, so we're always broke or owing money. He has terrible money management skills since he orders Uber Eats daily.
Jesus.
When I was living alone, we never shared our finances. I was financially unstable. Yeah, okay. I feel incredibly guilty for allowing him to live with me. His parents are happy he's out, so it feels like it's too late to kick him out, like I said earlier. I'm risking my housing, privacy, and money for him, but I feel rude to kick him out. I need advice. It feels like I'm being used, but my boyfriend is not the type to use people. Okay, first off, that last sentence, my boyfriend is not the type to use people.
He's literally using you.
That is literally this. I guarantee you that is literally the same thing she said when she met him. This guy is not the type to use people. But that's exactly what we talked about at the beginning of the podcast with the miscommunication thing, or when people...
Not setting expectations.
Exactly. I'm so glad I found this because it fits perfectly. That's what we're saying. I'm not going to say this guy, I'm
not saying he's perfect, but when you don't set... Dipper. When you don't set expectations to begin with, and then you're trying to enforce expectations that have not been set.
When you let him move in.
When you let him move in, you've been allowing him to do these things. Maybe she already has had a conversation with him, but maybe you could start by being like, dude, like, this is what's up, and if you're not cool with that, then, that's it.
Right, and then...
Which is it sounds so simple, but women are very non-confrontational. They're very introverted. They're women like this. I'm gonna have to take dog out in a second. But like this could all be in something that we call for you fellow nerds, for something in D&D or like games like that, stuff like this that would solve that issue. We call it a session 0. It's the same thing in relationships. It's a session 0. It's a setting expectations. It's talking about what you want. It's talking about what they want. It's coming to a mutual agreement.
Right. Yeah, and it's like, I'm not going to say that's what this situation is, but, that's what situations can end up in terms of a guy says, hey, I like you, come over and smash, and then you fall in love.
Come over and smash.
Right, and then you fall in love without getting to actually know this dude, and then
you expect him to
you end up in a relationship, and then you get stuck in this type of situation. And that's it's a sucky thing about relationships, especially today, is that there's very little communication. I think people are scared to show their intentions and or feelings to people in fear that the person's gonna leave. But like, ladies, there's got to be red flags you can see in terms of like a situation like this where this guy moves in, he's just a total pothead, doesn't have a job, is disgusting in the house, and doesn't respect boundaries or rules of your house, right? And I feel like there's got to be red flags in that, and I feel like men too. Men and women, I feel like we should learn how to read each other more in terms of expectations and who the person really is, because what some people say drunk at a bar might not be who they actually are, So if a girl came up to me and was, asking, acting like this super nice person, but then, the next day is like, you're not allowed to hang out with other girls anymore, like at all, even if they're just friends. I'm going to be like, okay, well, that's not happening, and I'm going to be out of there. So I feel like that's the big problem today, is that people aren't reading red flags and, not getting to learn each other's expectations in terms of the future. Now, if you're going to the bar looking for a one-night stand, and the one-night stand is the mutual feeling between the two of you, then go right ahead for it.
That's fine. That's perfectly fine.
But you can't have one person going to the bar, thinking they just met a dude who they hope they're with for a long time, where the other person is at the bar saying what they can to secure the bag for the night. And that's a big problem. And it's also because people lie.
People lie all the time. Like I said earlier, a dude will say whatever he can to secure your genitals.
The bag.
Literally.
So, I feel like dating in, 2022 is, especially with social media and stuff too, it's a lot easier to cheat, and, just dating in this generation is a lot different than meeting a girl at, like, the diner in 1962.
Well, obviously, but it's not even... It wasn't even that long ago that dating was different, because this whole COVID thing has really... That's what's blown this all up, and that's what's, chugged out this, like, terrible dating culture, and, like, in the way
it's a one-night stand culture.
Well, it's been...
I'm on quarantine, come over.
Well...
But I'm scared to go out in public.
Right, yeah.
Like, let me ask this dude...
I'm afraid to go outside, and I have to wear my mask in Walmart, but...
Let me ask this dude who I've never met in my life to come over and rail me. Yeah. There's no difference. It's just, I don't know, it's ridiculous.
I'm going to literally put his cock in my mouth, which has all kinds of COVID germs on it.
Right. But I'm scared to go to Walmart to buy groceries without having my hazmat suit on.
Without being quadruple vaxxed with my hazmat suit.
Yeah.
Because my ventilation system.
Because the CDC told me to be scared. Even though everybody at the CDC probably also doesn't like wearing masks or doing everything that they tell other people to do.
What if there was a CDC for, like, sexual relations? Just, like, how stupid and politicized that would be.
But, yeah, dating is just, it's, I wouldn't even say dating, because, dating, but even just, like, meeting a girl is just, it's so, like, hit or miss now.
Well, it's hit or miss, and it's hard to find people with the same values as you, and it's hard to find people... Huh? I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I mean, guys do the same thing too. So I can't sit here and say, oh, women do this, women do that, when it could be, easily, just as easily reversed.
Anything that we've talked about today can be put into like a guy archetype or whatever, and there's always going to be versions.
Both parties do it.
Correct. There's going to be versions of guys that do this. There's going to be versions of women that do this, but this is why I feel like gay guys have it figured out. Gay guys know what they want.
When they want it.
And then they execute the plan. They secure the bag every single time. It is, if you want to hook up, it's effortless. If you want to date, it's effortless.
Yeah.
I mean, and you can go on mybrohookups.com.
That is true.
And
you don't even need to be gay. Just meet a bro.
Correct.
And you're set.
And then you can turn them gay.
Oh, well, I don't think my, Bro Hookups was intended for that, but...
Well, the way that you read the ad was very ambiguous.
So the way I read the ad was not ambiguous. The way I read the ad was meet a bro and a lifelong friend.
Well, that lifelong friend could also be something you put your dick in. So.
Okay, well, if you want to take it that way, then go right ahead, but... I didn't put gay hookups.
Look at us as guys. We're supposed to be simple, and we're making this complicated and arguing about it.
Yeah, guys can be complicated, too.
Correct.
In certain situations.
So, women, please don't take offense to this episode. It's not intended to offend you. It's intended to, have a discussion, an open discussion.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. We would like to know as much about, girls in terms of how the hell do you think, just as much as girls want to know how the hell do men think.
Like, women, can you give us a cheat code? Just one. Just like, we don't need the whole book, but like
AB, L1, L2.
Can we get cheat code of fingering? That is the most complicated activity that there is. Oh, don't skip over that. Come on.
What? I didn't skip over nothing. I was just saying, I might have it figured out.
Well, you gotta go up, down, circle, triangle, double backspace, circle. If you're psychotic, just like spell out the words love.
If only we had cameras.
Oh god. No. I look like a homeless man.
Yeah, you've got your hair parted.
Not on purpose.
In the middle right now. I've been thinking about that the whole time.
I also look like I'm balding in this light.
So. I also, after you mentioned birth control glasses, I went and got mine.
Yeah. And
I was pretty disappointed you didn't say it, because these are the legit birth control glasses. I don't...
No, I'm thinking... Those aren't the ones I was thinking of. They're like the old school, like, 90s, like, aviator-looking things with a bar across the top.
You know, like aviators?
No, I'm saying... They're not aviators, though. They're, like, giant, blocky like this. You look like Nelson from The Simpsons when you wear them.
Okay, well, I have to wear these to read.
Well, then you're mentally disabled.
Make fun of my disability again.
Mentally disabled man.
It's funny to make fun of mental disabilities.
It's actually hilarious. Please stop. Jesus.
So horrible.
Israel had to get up for a second, but he is returned. Dipper, I just took you out. I don't know what your problem is. Bro, I literally just took you out. That dog is something else.
I gotta go potty.
I gotta go potty, and I peed for like 12 seconds, and then I pooped, and then
and then I gotta pee for another 12 seconds, and I just kind of like going outside, even though I know you don't, because it's literally 5 degrees out right now.
Okay, it's literally been 5 degrees for like the last 2 days, and it's horrible.
Well, let me look up what it feels like right now.
Yeah, that was depressing earlier.
Let me go to the weather real quick. But before I get into the weather, the next word from our sponsor.
We have a very special live ad read. And that would be... Did we do PP on the last episode? I can't remember.
PP.
I don't know, but we're going to read that one. Today's second sponsor is Pussy Pops. Have you ever enjoyed a sweet candy but was interrupted by a woman wanting premarital sex, which is perfect for this episode? Now you can combine both of those desires with Pussy Pops. PP is an insertable and satious popsicle you can enjoy with husband and wives alike. Pussy Pops come in 3 unique flavors that leave you wanting more. Chill out with frosted heartless wench. Sit back and relax with bangin' blueberry blowjob, and blast away with unkept mustache mountain. You will love the flavor and excitement so much that Pussy Pops is offering a limited time bundle. You do not want to miss this offer. The first 100 callers will receive not 1, but 2 packs of pee-pee with their order. Call 1-800-DOWN-BAD-FOR-PUSS 6969 now. That's 1-800-DOWN-BAD-FOR-PUSS 6969. You guys will love this product. It tastes delicious. You can definitely do... I mean, you don't even have to use the product as intended, and you'll enjoy it. So please check out Pussy Pops. That one more time, that's 1-800-DOWN-BAD-FOR-PUSS 6969. Israel, do you have anything to say about Pussy Pops for the show?
I personally use it myself, honestly, and I do not regret buying PP one bit. You know, the ad is what's the word I'm looking for? Non-exaggerated in terms of how great it is, right? It's just, you know, it's definitely worth checking out.
What's your favorite flavor?
What was the mountain? It was like a mountain one, right?
Yes, that would be Unkept Mustache Mountain.
Yes, Mustache Mountain. That is my favorite one.
What do you like about it? Is it the fact that you can taste the bristles of the end of the mustache?
Right. You know, as someone who, in my opinion, you know, can grow a fairly nice mustache, I appreciate the feel of another nice mustache.
Like the sweat just dripping off the end of it?
Right, exactly. You know, when I go to MMA practice, I know, like, I sweat a lot, and a lot of that gets stuck in my mustache when I grow it.
You taste that little salty bit, yeah.
Right, and it's like, you know, I taste my own mustache sweat, but what if, like, you know, there was another man's mustache sweat, you know, gracing my lips?
That would be so attractive and you know, just completely insatiable. Like I said, Pussy Pops, you know, is insatiable and satious, insertable, you know.
Exactly.
As I was saying. Personally, I like Frosted Heartless Wench because I deal with a lot of those in my life. So
don't we all?
You know, the taste is very nice and you know, familiar, and it's something that I can enjoy every day. So please check out Pussy Pops. I'm sure they'll love to have you. We were very happy to sign them on. It's very, very hard to get sponsors nowadays, especially with the COVID-19 pandemic going on, and we're just very grateful that Pussy Pops actually sponsored today's video.
Exactly, yes, and I feel, you know, in the sponsor ad, it mentioned a lot about being in a relationship, and I think, as we were talking about in this episode, you know, relationship is something that is taken for granted nowadays. So it's definitely a worthy product to check out, for sure. Coming from both hosts' personal experience. But anyways, thank you guys tonight for listening. We hope you enjoyed this half serious, half comical episode. We thank all of our viewers who join in and listen to us, and we thank everybody who recommends us to their friends and family. And we continue we hope that the podcast and the channel hopes to grow. We hope it gets bigger because we love making people laugh. We love informing people, and we enjoy doing what we do.
And if you're here through a click-through video on a dating advice, you know, video amongst YouTube, just know that this episode's for you guys.
And I would like to introduce a new thing. If you guys are watching the video and you are drinking a cold one or you're drinking whatever, I would love to at the beginning and end of every video to just throw up a quick toast. Throw up a quick toast and thanking you guys for tuning in and supporting us down the road, and we hope you continue to support us down the road.
I've got one last thing to say before your toast, which I highly appreciate. You guys can reach out to us at nybeerpatrol@gmail.com and on Twitter at nybeerpatrol. If you or anyone you know would like to be a guest speaker on the show, has something funny to talk about, whether it be beer, women, whatever it is, doesn't matter what the topic is. If you guys would like to recommend yourself or someone, just reach out to, that is nybeerpatrol@gmail.com or nybeerpatrol on Twitter.
Yes, and we will... we don't have cameras right now. We have been recommended by many people to get cameras in because we also do many funny things in person at the table. That is a thing that will come later down the road. But as Wayne said, if you would like to join in on the podcast and just have fun with us, or if you have a story to tell, we are definitely available to do a phone call or a FaceTime or what's that, Zoom, or whatever else you want to do it on.
The cursed Zoom.
Yeah, feel free to go ahead, send us a message on Twitter, Gmail, and we will be more than happy to make that happen. But without further ado, if you're drinking something cold, you're drinking something in a cup, whatever you're drinking on tonight, listen to the podcast. Let's throw up a toast to celebrate the podcast, and we hope you guys continue listening in to the New York Beer Patrol podcast. As always, my name is Israel, joined by my co-host Wayne. We love doing what we do, and we love you guys, so see you on the next episode of New York Beer Patrol podcast.
Nice 7-minute outro. I love it. Have a good night.